are back in Miami, April 2023. And as with all great things, evolution is a natural process. We realized here at MITA Unshackled that I am Captain Kirk and George is...
George Stantchev.
He's Spock. He's Spock. He's the chief science officer, and I'm the crazy guy just jumps out there and does things. So anyway, he's a fact checker. So back with your hosts, Dimitri and George here at MITA Unshackled. And we, Benzinga's buzzing all day, right, guys?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thrilled to introduce to the audience a couple individuals that we have the pleasure of getting to know live, because I haven't met you guys before. I see everybody wants to talk to you, and you're having all these meetings and stuff. So Eric, I said, hey, we need these guys on the show. So I get to meet Michael and Austin live in front of the studio audience, talk about what you guys do, and see how it relates to the rest of the cannabis ecosphere. So who wants to go first? We start with Michael? Michelle. Okay. Well, okay.
Fact checking French.
he fact checked me. So what? I'm going to put an A there.
Michelle. Yeah,
Michelle. That's okay. You guys won the World Cup. We never did. So that's a thing. No, did we ever win the World Cup? No, we haven't won the World Cup. Okay. Michelle Thomas.
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't have a French accent.
Well,
Michelle Thomas. Michelle Thomas. Okay.
That's
See,
it.
I can screw everything up. You are the CEO of Echo Channel. But how did you get into cannabis? Where did you come from, and how did you end up here today?
Well, very great question. This is an industry that we are not very familiar with, and so it was having this event here in South Florida, Benzinga. We felt would be a very, very good opportunity to understand more about the industry, to learn about it, to connect with individuals that are involved in this, and of course, see how it can relate to what we do as a business. And so far, I would say the experience and the relationships, the connectivity have been tremendous.
And so this is your first cannabis conference?
Correct.
But you got to hang with me, man. I've been like 200 the last 10 years. You got to go Spanibus.
Yeah.
That would be a shocker. So what you guys came here, you didn't know what to expect. What are you seeing?
Well, first of all, I see a lot of enthusiasm about this industry. I see this incredible I'm not even saying it's emerging, because it's not emerging, but it's an incredibly incredible industry. We are in the media space.
In the media space?
But we call the eco channel, which is what the name stands for. We focus on businesses, individuals that are in the green and blue economy.
The green and blue economy.
That's right.
Okay.
So everything that we focus on is eco-friendly, sustainable initiatives, and that's what we report on. That's what we promote.
Have you met Chris Day?
Not yet.
Oh man, we got introduced to Chris Day. Okay, we'll get to that later.
Yes.
But so Eco Channel was founded when?
The Eco Channel was founded 3 years ago. We're gonna celebrate the 3-year anniversary of the Eco Channel on April 21st, Earth Day. We wanted to start this business on Earth Day to make sure that it's a good aura for an Eco Channel. So we'll be celebrating 3 years of the business in about 10 days now.
Okay, and where do people watch or see the Eco Channel online? And where?
Primarily, before we started the Eco Channel, we also were a broadcast TV company on cable television. But for the past 3 years, since the Eco Channel has been born, we are primarily on streaming platform. So you can find us on Roku, you can find us on Amazon, and of course all the other social media platforms that exist.
So there's a lot of different shows on the Eco Channel, or how does that work?
Well, there is probably right now we have close to 200 hours of content, which is quite a bit. And we focus on documentaries primarily, interviewing businesses, just like you guys are doing.
You can put MITA Unshackled on your Eco Channel, and if you make any money, you can have it.
Absolutely.
Oh no! Wait, we can't give it away.
But the whole idea really is promoting businesses that are either already green or are in that process of trying to be more eco-friendly, more sustainable, and showcasing what they are doing towards, of course, making our planet healthier and safer.
We at MITA, we are like Kermit the Frog. We are as green as they come. That's awesome that you guys focus on this. Well, who came up with the idea for the Eco Channel?
Well, this was interesting because before the Eco Channel, we used to do interviews at major shows like this one, speaking to executive owners, CEOs of major companies, and always asking the question of, what are you doing in your business practices to pollute less, for example?
Okay.
Or to lower your carbon footprint?
Austin, be prepared for that question.
And often that question was the reply to that question was either a blank stare at that time.
Yeah.
Or, let me get back to you.
Yeah, no, Austin's going to slam that one. He's got time to prepare.
So as we kept putting some of those executives, their feet on the fire, it became evident to us that we had a business that we need to pursue, and not only make it an occasional, asking those questions occasionally, but focus 100% on those topics, because by doing so, we are able to move the needle a little bit better in the right direction.
I love it. This is really good stuff. And we're going to continue talking about the subject and what you guys do. I just want to get Austin introduced and into the conversation. Austin Pickering?
Yes.
Is that
that's
right?
Correct.
And you're with Amcor.
Amcor.
Yep.
So,
what is Amcor, and who are you, and where did you come from, and how long have you been in the cannabis industry?
Yeah, so I've been in the cannabis industry for about 2 years now. So we're the largest packaging manufacturer in the entire world. So we're about $15 billion across. And so we have a headquarters over in Switzerland as well as in the U.S.
Well, you could ask him
in
if he's
Chicago.
green.
Yep.
Packaging company.
Yeah,
Wait,
packaging
you don't have to
company.
answer that yet. He's got a question for you in a second.
Absolutely.
Sorry, but you're the largest packaging company.
Yep. So we recognized that there was a gap in the cannabis space for packaging as a whole. And so we entered the market about 2 years ago and recognized that there was a need for sustainable packaging alternatives.
Oh, look at that.
So specifically the glass containers. Everybody loves to have their glass containers they can see through in the packaging and the weed and whatnot. So we came into the market and said, hey, you know what? We want to provide a solution that is recycle ready. Our company was we were the first manufacturer to have a sustainability pledge to have all products recyclable or reusable by 2025.
Nice. Michelle, this is not a setup. This is like, we didn't plan this.
This is not planned,
okay.
But yeah. So I mean, we're already 70% of the way there with all of our products. We're primarily in the space for pouches, sachets, other products you use on a common basis. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with brands like Chick-fil-A, Capri Sun, stuff like that. So we work with a lot of top name brands, and our whole goal is to basically reduce the overall packaging footprint. Even though we're a plastics company, I know plastics has a really bad rep, but I asked Michelle earlier the question. I said, would you rather have a package that is reduced by 10% for your overall size, or would you rather have the package extended by a shelf life of 1 day? So I'll ask you the same question.
What did Michelle say?
He hasn't answered yet, so he could answer.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to save it. So what's your answer?
Oh, my answer.
Sorry.
Oh, what's your
answer? Yeah, you're going to answer.
Well, whatever's better for the nature.
That's a good answer. Oh, can you ask the question again, just so I give them my numbers
yeah,
right?
So it's would you rather have your package reduced by 10% or increase the shelf life by 1 day? So for instance, I'll use the example of like chicken. So if you go to the store and you buy a package of chicken, would you rather have it reduce the overall packaging by 10% or increase the shelf life of that product by 1 extra day in your refrigerator?
There's a right answer to this, right?
There's a right answer.
Okay, so let's go ahead and guess. Are you 10% or 1 day?
Well, now it depends on the product. If you have a chicken, then chicken is better. But if you have a weed, so it's not going to stay 1 day extra. People buying it the same day. If it's a good one. If it stays the second day, why do you care? So nature is better.
So 1 day. You're saying 1 day, right? 10% or 1 day?
Oh, so you're saying reduce the packaging?
By 10%?
Correct.
Okay, reduce the packaging.
You would reduce the packaging or increase life?
Well, I'm into actually extending the shelf life.
Okay.
I'm going to go with extending shelf life too.
Extending the shelf life is correct because ultimately your
You're
overall
a scientist, bro. Come on.
Yeah, what's going on over there?
He's got the PhD in physics.
So your overall ecological footprint is drastically reduced by increasing the shelf life by 1 day. So the thing that people don't think about is for packaging, they always think plastic. They want to go smaller and they want to reduce consumption. The problem is we live in a world now where plastic is very common. It's not going to go away. So it's going to continue to get used, but we want to make the product better. So we recognize for like weed, for instance, you want to have a package that has like oxygen barrier, moisture. So we talk about some packaging. I use the chicken as an example. If we were able to extend the shelf life of weed, your overall carbon footprint for the consumption of water usage and whatnot is drastically reduced. So, for instance, I have an example here. We have an asset analysis report on any of our products, so we can do a comparison. I'll cheat with the numbers real quick.
Go ahead.
But so a Calyx like 1/8 ounce PP container that's a 4x6x2 versus the one of these pouches and whatnot, you get a 94% reduction in overall non-renewable energy use. You have a 92% reduction in your overall carbon footprint, and you have an 88% reduction in overall water consumption just to create that product. So people talk about how glass is recyclable. It's a great product to have. It is by all means, but your consumption of that product and then giving it to the recycling company to break that back down and reproduce is a much larger footprint than using a piece of plastic like this.
Did you guys didn't know each other before this show?
We did not.
No.
What do you think of this guy?
Well, it's actually...
this is like exactly what,
Well, we just bumped into each other, and he mentioned sustainability, and we just happened to start talking about sustainability in the space.
Benzinga for that.
That's networking at Benzinga is, you meet great people like yourselves, and it's a really good conference.
So I'd like to hear Michelle's perspective on what they're doing and how they're operating their company and stuff.
Well, I love it, of course. I love the fact that now this sustainability discussion and eco-friendly is no longer something that is an add-on. It's becoming an integral part of every single business.
Yes,
absolutely.
And because it's not a fad, it's something that we have to do. But also, I'm very conscious that this is incremental. So we are not going to be able to solve those issues within a week or two, or it's just something that's going to take at least a decade or probably a couple of decades, because our way of life and what made us rich as the Western world has been almost exclusively comes from petroleum products, essentially. I mean, every chair, every whatever you can think, even the hospital, the tubes. I mean, everything that we touch nowadays has some type of plastic derivatives. So in order for us to move forward, we cannot eliminate it drastically overnight. It's just impossible. But it is possible to actually reduce our consumption, and find alternatives to some of those products in the best way we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Through technology, of course, through education. And that's what we do at the Eco Channel. So we promote those businesses, those individuals, of course, that are willing to take that first steps.
Okay. No, that actually sounds fantastic. And what kind of reception? And my feeling for the last 10 years of the cannabis industry, it's very pro-environment, eco-friendly, sustainable.
Yep.
The consumer and the patient tends to be more in line, even if they're not educated and really active in that space. The preference is towards that.
Yeah,
period.
Absolutely.
And are you guys finding the same reception in your packaging and stuff?
We are. So there was a statistic that was thrown out earlier from one of the speakers that I think it was like 80% of consumers would not mind paying a little more for a package that costs a little more for the sustainability aspect and the piece for it. But the reality is that this actually is cheaper as an alternative solution than what's currently out on the market. So it's a win-win not only for the company to save money and grow profit margin, but also for the consumer as a whole on the back end. I know that plastic gets a bad rep, but ultimately your overall environmental, ecological footprint, carbon footprint is a lot lower using one of these packages versus a glass container or a plastic container in that consumption.
And so Amcor was a packaging company prior to cannabis.
That's correct, yeah.
And how big? I knew nothing about packaging prior to entering into the cannabis space.
Absolutely.
I never paid attention to it. I never cared.
Yeah.
But now I've met so many people and so many different. My breadth of knowledge and experience in the cannabis space is incredible now. So I've learned a little bit more about packaging. But what was Amcor prior to cannabis?
So we have 35 plants in the U.S. And so we're the largest packaging plastic supplier in the entire world. We produce common products like I have a packet on me right now. So this is a product that we do right here. So if you guys consume anything that's in a sachet, one of the formats that I was talking with somebody else here earlier that does an oil, I said, hey, why can't we do cannabis oil in a sachet like that for a single drink serving? Because one of the things is with like cans, for instance, right, with cannabis, is that you have to hold on to that product. And in these dispensaries, it takes up all this space in the back room. So you could have 5,000 of these in 2 cases, right, on site at a dispensary, or you could have 5,000 cans in the back for storage that you have to hold on to. And now they're wasting that space that could be utilized for something else and help that business grow, be more profitable, and utilize it for something different.
What about the impact it has upon the quality of the cannabis? I mean, do you guys take that into account, and how's that
absolutely
understood?
So it's great. We have a facility in Neenah, Wisconsin. That's a $300 million research and development facility. And we have all these environmental chambers that do specific like testing. So if you were to be living in like a temperate environment or like a cold environment, wherever you're storing your packaging, to see if it affects the integrity of the product itself. So we do a shelf life testing of the product to see if it has any oxygen barriers or moisture barrier issues, if there's any potential problems with that. So it just depends on the flour, or if it's like chocolate gummies, we do all the testing.
And what kind of you guys penetration do you have into the market now? Did you go to MJ BizCon last year?
Some of my colleagues did. So Dan right over there, he was at MJ BizCon last year. So yeah, we do have a presence in MJ BizCon. This is my second time at Benzinga. We're looking to bring in the full team to be a keynote speaker next time. So we're really getting involved in the space overall. What we're trying to do is create a standardized packaging format for the entire industry, because a lot of people are using small key players and these small packaging companies. But if we can create a sizing for the entire industry that says, hey, a 4x6 is a standard for an eighth, or hey, a 4x10 is a standard for an ounce, something like along those lines. Then we can tell the industry as a whole, like, hey, this is what's available, and then it can all be sourced from one location.
That's really good prices.
So what makes packaging better? If you have few vendors, you have few vendors on the show, how is select better packaging?
How is Amcor packaging better?
Yeah.
Versus which format?
Napkin?
Just pick one. That's easy.
So yeah, the Calyx container that I was referring to, it has the same properties as being able to hold oxygen barrier and moisture. So overall, it's going to have the same integrity in a pouch versus in a container itself. Also, the advantages of having a pouch like this, I have a package over here from this company.
Even more packages.
I do, yeah. So this is one
He's like that guy with the watches in New York.
Just pull it up.
If you need a watch, I got one in my jacket.
Yeah.
Got packages lined up here.
But so that's an interesting pouch. That's a format that we could do right now. It's not one of our current products, but I like the packaging. I love the matte feel on it. So, and this is right across the booth from us right now. It's called Band.
Shout out to
Band. They do gummies right there. So, but this is a format that we can do, and it's one of those things where the benefits of moving to a pouch versus one of those containers. They're also we're CR certified. We go from a federal standpoint, versus a lot of these other companies get loopholes through the state legality. We do a hard stance from our team across the board from a federal guideline on what is CR childproof certified. Mm-hmm. So we actually we get it tested third party. It takes about 8 weeks, and they do full testing with children, grandparents, and whatnot to see if they can get into these containers.
Childproof stuff.
Childproof stuff. Make sure it is fully childproof, because you don't want your kids. Some of this packaging starts to look like candy, and if a kid picked this up and they were to look at it, they want to make sure it's secure. And so a lot of the consumers say, hey, well, I'm going to keep it in a Calyx container because I know that that's a more secure package. But they test this, and they make sure that it is 100% childproof, safety certified. We also have our own testing facility that we can bring people in with a two-way panel mirror. We line up a bunch of cameras, and we do our own testing internally too. Do the same thing.
You guys, here come the big dogs, George.
Yeah. So I mean, to be honest, I guess a little bit, it's like we would, I guess it's like Coca-Cola kind of coming in and saying, hey, like we want to step into the drink space for cannabis in a way, right? But it's like we're saying, hey, packaging is here, and we want to help the community and be green about it. And I know that plastic, like I mentioned, gets a bad rep, but the overall the footprint is much less than what people think.
So what's going to happen to all these small cannabis-related packaging companies with a good book of business? Are they going to go out of business? You guys going to buy them out?
No, so we're actually we're looking at pieces of business like right now, like machine partners, to make it more sustainable and friendly versus like creating a pouch, because the process to create a pouch is a lot harder versus creating roll stock film. So we're trying to utilize partners, partner with machine companies, come to growers and other spaces like True Leaf and stuff, and say, hey, like we want to get you in contact and network people we know in the industry because we do all different formats. Like I was saying earlier, like, Go-Gurt, Capri Sun, Lunchables, stuff like that, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Pepsi, all that kind of stuff. So it's like we have such a broad range of products that we do now in the consumer space, but now we're in cannabis.
Wow.
Thought about biodegradable packages and how that impacts the whole.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so biodegradable, it's, the only problem with the U.S. that we see right now is the structure of being able to recycle versus Europe. So our network in the U.S. to be able to recycle isn't as up to date as it is in Europe for our recycle capabilities. So we're creating the structures now to be recycle ready for when the facilities in the U.S. are built out to break that material down.
Michelle, this guy says all the right things.
Yes, because I'm here.
Okay. I like that. See, we're keeping an eye on you.
Right.
No, that's good that we brought you on the show,
I told
Michelle.
him, from a sustainability standpoint, and you mentioned education was important. And with your business, it's really key to teach the consumer and the companies that are out there, about the sustainable products and whatnot, and what the actual facts are about,
Absolutely.
what you purchase. So.
Absolutely.
How many clients in the cannabis space do you have right now? Like, do you think?
We currently have 3 right now in the cannabis space. As mentioned, we just came into the cannabis space a couple of years ago, and we're really just starting to pick up. I'd say this year specifically, we have a drive to grow and have a bigger, broad base in the market by the end of the year.
Yeah, you let me know. I can introduce you to a lot of people. I mean,
absolutely,
you guys,
yeah. That's what Benzinga is all about: networking, connecting, meeting people.
Yeah, our database at MITA is thousands of individuals in the cannabis space.
Absolutely.
Our emails go out to 35,000 individuals. We have an open rate of between 10 and the highest ever we have is 49%. But 10, 15,000 people open each email. We are all cannabis industry professionals. We network throughout almost every single conference and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we like helping promote businesses, promote ideas, promote individuals that people should get to know. Absolutely. So, wow, Austin, I'm blown away by the quality of your company, your mission, your goals, and your approach. And I look forward to your success. Can you guys also, I know there's a big made in the USA thing, and I'm a USA. If you don't love it when you say it 3 times, get the fuck out kind of guy. I am that guy. But packaging can be made anywhere in the world.
That's true. So
how do you
domestically sourced and produced blow to order for your clients. So basically, if someone comes in, they say we want 50,000 pouches. We source the raw material. We have our own facilities in the U.S. As mentioned, 35 plants all across. We source the pellets and the resin. It goes into like a turbine. It melts down at like different temperatures. You can have 7 different layers come in. It'll shoot up into a nice little bubble. It'll go about 5 stories high, splits at the top, gets spun into spools on some rolls. And then from there, that's just part of the manufacturing process. But all produced in the U.S. We have 15 plants, specifically in Wisconsin, and then spread from coast to coast as well.
And my guess is it's more sustainable to produce in the United States than it is and environmentally friendly and stuff than it is like China or
absolutely,
because
the regulations in the U.S. are very strict compared to overseas. It's very loose. So
you probably know a lot about that subject.
I mean, I'd be interested to ask you, Michelle. Have you gone overseas to see a lot of packaging in other areas?
No, I have not.
Okay.
No, I have not.
What kind of companies do you guys deal with mostly on the eco channel? What do you?
Well, we actually don't deal with companies. We deal with industries. So we actually work with probably most industries that are, from finance, energy, transportation, food, fashion. That's basically, we work with various, industries. And so we don't sell product, of course, like Richard does, but we work with various industries, of course, that are committing or trying to commit to be more green, to be more sustainable, and we partner, of course, with lots of organizations whose mission is going in the same direction.
Excellent.
So that's really our goal, and of course, part of the goal is companies like Richard, if they decide to work with us or promote or advertise with us, our job is also to keep them accountable and make sure that the promise they make in 2023 will be kept in 2033.
Yeah,
absolutely. So it's part of staying on course with the mission and the purpose. And that's really what we try to do with all the various businesses that we come across or we promote.
Excellent. Well, how do people get in touch with you guys? What's the best way? LinkedIn, Instagram, website, email?
Yep. Amcor.com. We have an area on there you can fill out some information if you want to request, more pouching information like these products right here. And then also, my name's Austin Pickering, but you can find me on LinkedIn at Richard Pickering. And just connect, shoot me a note, and happy to, give any information or insight or network in general, just to answer any questions anybody may have. So.
Yeah, for Sam with us, we have a website which is the Eco Channel, theecochannel.com. We're on LinkedIn, the Eco Channel, YouTube, the Eco Channel, Instagram, the Eco Channel. It's all the Eco Channel everywhere. And we're also actually celebrating our 3-year anniversary in about 10 days.
Excellent.
On April 21st, which is a yearly gathering of CEOs, business executives, C-suite executives who actually come to connect, network, talk about, of course, their latest innovation, their latest project in that eco configuration.
And who do you want from the cannabis industry and what you've seen so far to reach out to you?
Primarily, we don't have a specific client, but we are really targeting businesses that are committing or ready to commit to becoming much more sustainable, even though they may not be sustainable yet fully, but if they have that inclination to be more sustainable, this is definitely the type of business we want to connect with.
Right.
We also support a lot of ESG practices, and since we started, we actually have seen a remarkable phenomenon in that space, which is we're not quite there yet, but we will probably in about 3 or 4 years at a point where you will have companies that, and they're actually working very hard now, actually able to produce product of all sorts, whether I'm talking about jet fuel for planes or cars, or your suit, whatever your clothing, that are able to actually manufacture those kind of items at a cost that is, if not similar to what you are paying now,
right,
or even at some points cheaper. And those products are sustainable, biodegradable, and when that happens, you will have, of course, an extraordinary change, because why would you pay the same price or cheaper for something that is toxic? When you can get the same exact suit at the same price or cheaper.
Absolutely.
And when that happens, of course, you'll have an incredible change, a worldwide change, I would say, in regards to how consumer buy product.
Well, Michel, I'm definitely gonna Michel Thomas. I got it right. So that's okay. I was rooting for Argentina. Just kidding. Wanted to make sure I got that right. Come on, that was a joke. Anyways, although
we were happy Messi finally got
Mbappe, is that his name?
Oh yeah. Amazing player.
Whew. I mean,
what a great game though, right?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Mbappe I think he's better than Messi. Honestly, I do. Honestly,
might have to throw up a vote counter on that one.
No, honestly, I was rooting for Argentina all day long because Messi's put his time in, but Mbappe, my God, I mean,
great
just
player.
Unbelievable. Anyway, so sorry, just bring it up because you're French and I haven't talked to a French guy since the World Cup.
I mean, we interviewed Ronaldinho not too long ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, no. Good. Again, because he's actually became an investor in a breakfast product, acai product, berry acai, which is organic, sustainable product. And again, you have. So when you mentioned to me a specific industry, we are involved in many, but those are the companies that come to us or we work with are companies, of course, that are in that movement of being sustainable or organic, vegan, and so forth.
Well, we're just getting to know each other, and my specialty is connecting people and helping them work together. So I'm going to Google you, research you, understand a little bit more about the Eco Channel, figure out how we can work together.
Certainly.
You're an easy, I'll just send you business.
Perfect.
That's an easy one. Everybody needs packaging. So we can do something more complex strategically. And George, any final thoughts for the gentleman here?
At this point, I value everything that is helping our nature to be more eco-friendly and to be better serving our needs, packaging. And into especially this new green space. So absolutely amazing podcast.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. And,
excellent.
It's all pleasure in meeting you.
Yeah. So it's always been nice to meet you guys.
It was the right.
All right. And we will be back with another episode of Meat Unshackled with more people from Benzinga.